Alright, hello and welcome. Baro is back, so let's talk about what he has brought us today. First and foremost, the new item for today is the Mirage Immortal skin. And just to show this off real quickly before we talk about everything else he's brought today, we're gonna move into gameplay real fast. So this is my normal Mirage, this is just how I have her looking normally, and this is Mirage Prime with the skin on. It looks pretty good. Honestly, this opens up some sort of unique options for how to fashion Mirage out, and I have a setup that is specifically with this skin that we're going to go over in a second. But just to show off how it colors on Mirage Prime, as that's the Mirage I imagine most people will be using, we're going to go through a couple of these. I like this Immortal skin a lot more than I thought I would, and even though it makes it a little awkward to give her, like, classic Prime colors with this skin, there are a few things rather, that this skin opens up that I think look really cool. And one of those things is just straight up turning Mirage Prime into a Royal Flush cosplayer. Like, literally just put Mirage Prime into the Royal Flush gang. That's just what's happening now. And I think this setup looks pretty rad. So the Immortal skin is required for this cool thing. But I wouldn't blame anybody for just sticking with a regular, like, Mirage Prime type look either. So yeah, that's pretty much the Mirage Immortal skin. It's pretty cool. But anyway, moving back to the rest of the Baro stuff, we have the mods that matter, which are Primed Fever Strike and then all of the Bane mods. So the big caveat here with recommending the Bane mods is that if you're going to use a Bane mod, you need all of the Bane mods. You need all 4 of them, and you need to level all of them. That is a 160,000 plus endo investment, along with all of the credits that takes. And of course, the ducats to buy all of these from Baro. And it will technically improve your damage. However, that is one of the least useful things to do with your endo that I can think of, unless you are a mega veteran, like, have been playing since the beginning, like the onset of the game. That's about the only time you're going to have that kind of endo to just shit out into these mods. So I would instead advise that you pick up Primed Fever Strike because it goes on pretty much every single melee weapon in the entire game that isn't the Atarax, and it is a strict damage improvement for, like, all of them. So that's significantly more useful and is a much more efficient use of your endo and credits and ducats. So I would definitely advise that. Besides that, we have Prisma Shade. Prisma Shade is 9,000 mastery, first and foremost. So if you don't like using Shade, you should at least get it for that. But also, it's a Sentinel. He gives you invisibility. He's pretty good. There's no, like, huge issues with Shade, like, at all. Like, he's just good. This is a ton of mastery. Pick it up. Machete Wraith, on the other hand, is pretty much just the mastery at the current time. We got that new stance for the machetes a while ago, but if you were going to use a machete to actually fight enemies, you would use a Zaw, so this is strictly mastery, unfortunately. And then just of note from all these, like, other cosmetic choices and things, Corrupted Heavy Gunner Spectre, never worth getting. Please, for the love of God, do not waste your ducats on that item, because it is just absolutely worthless. Like, just absolutely worthless. Instead, buy things to sell with your extra ducats. Moving on to console, they don't have a ton today, but we do have Prime Target Cracker, which is obviously going to be used on the vast majority of secondary weapons, so very useful to get. Primed Heated Charge sees use on some secondary weapons, but definitely not all. And for me, in particular, I tend to focus more on having a lot of corrosive on my secondary weapons, especially if they're crit status based. So I don't end up using this mod as much as you might expect. Primed Quick Draw and Primed Slip Magazine pretty much never see use, but you can pick them up just for collection purposes if you're really into that. And then besides that, the Prisma Dual Cleavers are good dual swords, but those are in huge quantity. Like, good dual swords, not hard to find. There's a million different ways to get to a good pair of dual swords, so if you're going to use these, be sure to pick up the Augment so you can take advantage of that secondary effect, which is the reason the Prisma Dual Cleavers has use case over others. And then the Mantis Prisma skin, hey, all those Prisma ship skins, they look dope. So if you have the Mantis, then pick that up. Anyway, That's pretty much Baro today. Real simple stuff overall. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be streaming the new Spider-Man game tonight, so if for some reason you haven't seen the other million hours of coverage of that, come check it out. And also, for those that did not see it, there is a Neja workshop on changes that are going to be coming to him, and I'm going to be doing a video on that, so that will happen as soon as possible, pretty much. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.